Hey boos, in this video I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss.
In today's video, I'm going to be touching on this topic of discussion. Are wifely duties before real commitment, do they matter? And will it make a difference within your relationship? Now, in this video, I don't want to focus too much on marriage because I understand everyone feels differently about marriage, even though it is the most symbolic form of commitment among many, including the queer community within our society. I still feel, though, that most women want to be married because it's still rare to see women refuse a proposal more so than accepting a marriage proposal. I just feel less men are asking these days because we are giving them wifely duties, or we're giving them wifely benefits before they actually give us real commitment. So real commitment, like I said, to me, it's marriage. For my lifestyle, it's marriage. For your lifestyle, it could just be like a lifetime partnership. So in this video, I want to focus on that today. And my question for you: should we be saving these wifely benefits for marriage only and not do any type of wifely duties in a relationship? Now, before we can get this discussion popping, I know you guys are wondering, well, what are wifely duties? Wifely duties to me are basically things that any woman would do, like living with a man, cleaning up behind him, doing his laundry, just being there and being available in ways that a wife would. And if you don't really know the difference, I don't want to say turn to your Bible, because a lot of people don't believe in religion, or they don't believe in the Christianity religion. But I mean, just look around, like look at people who are married, and if you are marrying exactly what that woman is doing in her marriage, but you're in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, basically that is what I'm saying. And I can't help, I have to touch on this. The baby mama culture is a thing these days, and a lot of women are giving these men children before any type of real commitment. And again, you know, a lot of people like to say marriage isn't for everyone, but again, it's a form of protection. It's almost like an insurance policy when you get married to someone and you get that legal document that if they decide to leave you with a child or two or three, that you still receive spousal support, child support, alimony. I could go on and on and on. It's no different than when you get car insurance, health insurance, a life insurance policy. I could go on and on as to why marriage is beneficial to women and how it is a form of protection. I can't help but notice that nowadays a lot of women use the excuse that marriage isn't for everyone, but if they were asked to get married, I feel like they would say yes. If a man was to actually propose to them, I think they would say yes. I believe they would say yes, 100%. And I think this notion of not getting married these days, or putting like this negative spin on marriage, is because men are just not asking. And I feel it's because we are giving them too much, too soon, too early, without them really earning it. And that's the problem. So in this video, I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about, you know, wifely duties, and should we give men those benefits before real commitment or marriage, whichever you believe in, and do you feel that it would make a difference? Also, another thing that I want to touch on, because a lot of people like to use this excuse, oh, when I was married, it was horrible. I had such a horrible experience. And again, you know, I always revert back to basic science when it comes to dating. Men pursue the woman. At the end of the day, the woman gets to choose. So if you chose this man and you married him, that's a reflection of your choices, your decision. So to blame marriage for your horrible experience, maybe you should think back to the red flags that you ignored. Now, some women, and this is the one exception to the rule when it comes to how I feel about this. If you got into a marriage and this man did a complete 160 on you, he turned into someone that you never met, that is completely different. But that's really the only exception to the rule, because at the end of the day, women, we have the power to decline a marriage. We have the power to say, no, I don't want to accept this marriage proposal. You get to choose who you get with. It's not the other way around. Yes, men pursue, but at the end of the day, we give that final decision. We give the final notion as to give in and say, yes, I'll be submissive to you. But it's not like we're being forced into these marriages. Again, there are exceptions to this rule, but let's not pretend like we don't allow the things to happen or take place. We have to take accountability for our own actions. Let's go ahead and take a look at this video. I believe one of my supporters sent me this in my DMs, and I wanted to share it on my platform because I love when men give advice. And he's no Derek Jackson. So let's go ahead and take a look at this video.
Listen, this is dangerous rhetoric that's going around in the dating world, and I want to put a stop to it right now. So if you care about not wasting your time and actually finding the right person for you, you need to watch this video. It is super important. It's a rhetoric going around in dating right now that you should expect somebody to be and act like your wife before you make them one. Or act like your husband and do husband shit for you before you decide to make him one. And that has got to stop. That is the most unhealthy, dangerous thing that I've ever heard in my life. And there's a lot of people that sympathize with that, men and women alike. So I want to give you something to chew on if you are one of those people that thinks that way. Let me tell you something. Before you get married, you are supposed to observe and see if somebody has wifely or husband qualities, not necessarily experience them. Experiencing those qualities and those gifts are reserved for people that are actually their husband and our wife. So for all the people that's like, well, how will I know if I should wife them up if they ain't acting like a wife for me right now? By seeing if they are doing wifely quality things for other people. A wife is a loving person. Is that woman super loving to her family and her friends that has earned that type of love by being there for all of her life? Well, I want to know if she can cook and clean, so she got to cook and clean for me so I can know she had that wifely quality. No, does she cook and clean for herself? When you go over her house, is it spotless? Does she whip up meals and meal prep for her on a daily basis? Well, I got to know if she can hold it down. Is she holding her life down? Is she working her 9 to 5? Is her bills paid? Is she there for herself when she stumbles? Well, I want to make sure she can love me. Does she have love for herself? Does she make sure that she is always well kept? That she prioritizes her happiness above anything else? Those are wifely qualities that if you act right, eventually you'll get to experience. The point of dating is to see if they have those qualities and exhibiting it in their life, not in your life.
So like I said in my introduction, I don't want this video to just focus on marriage and I'm trying to persuade you to get married. Honestly, you have the choice to live the life that you want or to create the life that you want. However, I do have a question, because me being open-minded also means finding understanding. And I really want to know, like, what boundaries do women put in place when they're not trying to marry? Like, their end goal is not marriage. Maybe it's just like a lifetime commitment. What boundaries do you put in place to ensure that you're not wasting your time? To ensure that this person won't leave you high and dry? Now, this definitely can occur within a marriage. It definitely can. However, again, a woman gets to choose who they marry. It's not the other way around. So when you decide to basically take out a insurance policy on your lifelong commitment with your lifelong partnership through marriage, How does that happen for women who don't want the piece of paper? You know, how do you protect yourself? Like, I'm curious. Again, I'm not trying to persuade you. I just want to get insight on this lifestyle, which is different from the lifestyle that I want. But I still want to know, like, how do you guys protect yourselves from basically being screwed over? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I have to get the piece of paper. Like, F the wedding dress, F the ceremony. At the end of the day, that piece of paper is a form of insurance for me that I'm taking out with another person that wants to commit to me for a lifetime. And I'm also choosing who that man is for me. That man is not choosing me. I get to choose. And how do I get to choose? If I focus on my feminine energy and my femininity and the qualities that I offer in a feminine character or in a feminine gesture or in just a feminine aura, I will get to choose at the end of the day. But if I focus on being the independent Black woman and being independent in all of that, instead of just focusing on being self-sufficient, like he mentioned in this video, I think that it would give me like a smaller dating pool to choose from. But if I focus on being feminine and stepping into my divine feminine energy, I definitely get choices. So I want to know, though, as to the women who don't believe in marriage and marriage is not your end goal, how do you protect yourself? Like, it is a serious question. I would love to get insight on that.
When you get married, that's when you get all those gifts. But that's the thing. People are not taking dating as a preview stage. They want the full fucking course meal. And what happens is when you fall into that rhetoric, you start giving everything you got to somebody. And then they get up without paying. They dine and dash on your heart. And that's why it's dangerous. I'm not saying that you don't give people previews or free samples here and there, but that is out of want and not obligation. The thing about it is we have turned dating into an obligating, expectation-filled thing instead of gifts. Anytime somebody spends time with you outside of marriage is a gift, bruh. You can't put an expectation to that. The fact she called you, you should feel lucky. The fact she is in your company, you should feel lucky. And the same thing for women. We got to stop putting husband and wife expectations. And this is what I'm getting sick of hearing when I talk about this subject. People be like, well, marriage is just a piece of paper. If you feel that way, then don't get married then. Do not get married. Marriage is not a piece of paper. It is a lifelong bond and promise and vow that you will always uphold certain duties and responsibilities that only husbands and wives can promise to each other. The fact of the matter is you feel like it's a piece of paper because you keep doing husband and wife shit before you are married. So it don't change nothing. Being married don't change nothing because y'all ain't rationing y'all shit. You giving all of you away simply because you like somebody and then get mad when you get hurt. And now you don't want to love again. Now you don't want to trust again. Now you don't believe in relationships no more. And now you think marriage is just a piece of paper. And for all those men that's in my comment section, this is one more thing. For all those men that's in my comment section talking about, when I made the video about the difference between husband and wife, husband and boyfriend duties and girlfriend and wifely duties, it was men up there like, fuck that. No, she got to be a wife for me right now. Otherwise, I ain't wifing her up. Despite seeing 99% of the women on my page agreeing. And that's the problem with some of us men. We too fucking hard-headed. Man, shut the fuck up and listen and learn. If you got a problem with my videos, cool. But if 99% of the women are agreeing with a video, then maybe you should say, let me shut the fuck up and listen and learn. Men, it ain't all about us. It is not all about us, and we got to stop that. And I'm going to teach you a lesson right now. I think things in your life will be better if you shut the fuck up and listen sometimes.
Make sure you guys follow Ace Metaphor on Instagram. I'll leave a link to his Instagram down below in the description box. Now, I know in this video, it kind of seems like he's going in on the men, but he keeps it 100, 1,000, and he goes in on the men just as much as the women. So I love content like that. Okay. So make sure you follow him, support him. He has great content. So I wanted to touch on this too. I think a lot of women are being persuaded to believe or to think that marriage shouldn't be a thing for them, or real commitment shouldn't be a thing, because men are aware of wife duties and the benefits, because they know that if they manipulate you or persuade you into believing that marriage isn't for you, then they can reap benefits without getting real commitment. And again, for women to say marriage is not for them, it's kind of weird to me, because I'm just like, if you're living with someone, shacking with someone, and doing everything that a wife would do, I don't understand why you wouldn't just go ahead and get married. Because again, to me, it's a form of protection. It's almost like a life insurance policy. You're just going to plan for the unknown, just in case if this man decides to just walk and leave you with the burden of, I don't know, your everyday responsibilities that maybe you shared with this person. I just feel like it's a smart thing to do to get that piece of paper. Regardless of the ring, the wedding, the dress, the ceremony, you just want that piece of paper because it is a form of security in so many different ways. But like I said, I understand that women, in some cases, they just want a lifelong partnership. They don't want to play into the system of society with getting that piece of paper or that marriage license, which is understandable. But again, I would love for you to comment down below as to what boundaries do you put in place to ensure that you are protecting yourself when you don't marry, when your end goal is not marriage. So these are things that I just wanted to talk about on my platform. This is a topic that I wanted to bring to the platform. And also, I just don't understand why people are committing to a baby before marriage. I think committing to a baby is a bigger deal, because once you have that baby, you can't get out of that. You know, you're in it for the long haul, because this baby has to grow up, and that to me is a way bigger commitment than marriage, because once you have that child, you are with that child legally until the age of 18. In some states it may be 16. It just really depends, but I feel like that's a bigger commitment, and I feel that more people are committing to that, which is ass backwards in my opinion, because it's such a bigger commitment. So I would love your opinion. Comment down below. I didn't want to make this really about marriage, and I understand that so many people have different opinions on marriage. But again, I would love for you to comment those boundaries down below that ensures protection on your part as a woman when it comes to not making marriage your end goal. Comment down below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so that you're notified when I upload, and I'll catch you in my next one.